The name of that officer is Officer Jacob Carlson. He is a 3-year veteran of the Casper Police Department. Officer Carlson is a military veteran who served honorably in the United States Army, was decorated and given several medals. I will be releasing that information in written form for you today. I'm releasing his name and identity at this time because his family has now had the opportunity to arrive. The last of them came in after some marathon driving, and we're able to be here and be with him and be at his side, and so we're now able to release the identity of the officer. Jacob Carlson has served faithfully with the Casper Police Department, and our hearts and our prayers go out to him as he continues to undergo serious medical procedures. He is severely injured, and we are facing several difficult obstacles both today and into the future. And we ask for the public's support in helping him to be aware of the community's support behind him and the pride that we take in his faithful service and his sacrifices on behalf of the citizens of Casper. With that in mind, having released the name of Officer Carlson, I will be happy to take any questions. Please bear in mind that the investigation is being handled by the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigations. As such, I will not be responding to questions regarding the investigation. I would be more than happy to discuss Officer Carlson and to the extent possible and appropriate, his medical condition. At this time, I will take questions.
Chief, can you explain some of the procedures that he's been through, or maybe the amount of surgeries, kind of where you say he's in critical condition? Is there...
So it's important to me to note that great effort has gone into preserving the life of Officer Carlson. The ambulance crew, the officers on scene, the firemen that responded, the awaiting personnel at Wyoming Medical Center have all done an outstanding job of treating and caring for our officer. Jacob received multiple injuries. He was struck multiple times. One injury in particular is causing severe trouble. It struck a main artery in his body, causing a severe loss of blood. Although this is an unofficial estimate on my part, it is believed at this time that Officer Carlson has been the beneficiary of over 100 units of blood and blood products. That has continued to be the case even up until this morning, when he received even more blood products. Officer Carlson's condition is such that although we have several more surgeries awaiting him, surgery was not possible today, as we gave him the opportunity under medical advice to rest and to recover, to prepare himself and allow his body to be prepared for the necessary surgeries that are still forthcoming.
Chief, can you speak to the response from the department and the community in support for Officer Carlson?
We're extremely grateful. Obviously, these events such as this can be very troubling for a community. They cause an emotional outpouring of support and need for, and concern, quite frankly, for the law enforcement family that faithfully protects and serves this community. We're extremely grateful for the support that we've received thus far. I personally have received phone calls from law enforcement agencies from across the nation. My email inbox is filled with people that are offering encouragement and support and prayers on behalf of our officer. The community itself has been extremely supportive. If you go to the hospital now, you'll see that the parking lots are still filled with police officer cars as the officers anxiously await positive news on their friend and their brother in arms. Businesses, entities, and especially the law enforcement community have gone above and beyond to support the Casper Police Department. If I can give an example of that kind of support of which I'm talking, we were working steadfastly I personally reached out to the biological mother of Officer Carlson as she was attempting to travel here to Casper to meet her son. Because of the distances involved and the serious injuries to Officer Carlson, I worked closely with the Wyoming Highway Patrol, who amazingly made arrangements to meet with her on the highway, to escort her to a waiting airplane, and to fly her here so that she could be by her son's side at the soonest opportunity. Alongside the highway, she was met personally by the colonel of the Highway Patrol, who personally escorted her to that plane. That's the type of cooperation that we're seeing from all corners of the state. In addition, our local law enforcement have been nothing short of miraculous and admirable in their response to assist us. The police calls for service during the daylight hours here in the city of Casper have been handled exclusively by our local law enforcement agencies, who have volunteered their time and their resources to help us out as we continue to care for the needs of the department, the patrol team, which Officer Carlson was a part of, and Officer Carlson and his family.
There was a GoFundMe page that was made. Just like, where is that? Because can you talk about maybe what the police department does cover as far as like medical expenses and stuff like that, and what that money, where that's going?
Well, we're very early in on, and quite frankly, we've not spent a lot of time worrying about who's paying the bills. This is an on-duty injury. Officer Carlson and his family certainly has benefits that are appropriate and necessary. Regardless of the handling of those bills, it's easy to see where there would be monumental expenses. His family has traveled from far distances. They're seeking accommodations and food, and so, and without question, this will be ongoing for quite some time. Therefore, the GoFundMe page, which was originated by a member of the police department, is an integral part in assisting the family. I was personally present when representatives of the Wyoming Association of Sheriffs and Chiefs of Police brought a substantial check to the family and delivered it directly to the family, and other entities are doing likewise. The GoFundMe page that we've started is the one that we're personally responsible for, and so that we can ensure that is appropriately handled. And Officer Carlson is an active member of the city of Casper, which we are very proud of, and he will continue to receive the benefits that he's entitled to.
How does a police agency that goes through a situation like this respond? Obviously, you have to serve and protect the very next day in this community. And how does an agency deal with a tragic event like this? Hopefully, you'll be okay, but an event like this.
These are extremely difficult times for a police agency. Unfortunately, it's been several years since we've had to deal with something like this. The truth of the matter is we're a very close family. As we came into work on Sunday morning, we came into work as a family, and when we finally were able to go home Sunday night or Monday morning, we went home as a family. We respond to circumstances such as this as a family would, and as you can imagine, that has an emotional toll on people. I'm grateful for the strength and the pride with which our employees, both sworn and civilian, are currently serving the city of Casper and the citizens of this wonderful community. And it is truly inspiring and humbling to be their leader at a time like this.
How long will the other agencies be assisting with in-city duties?
It's my intention to resume normal activities. Tonight at 7 p.m. we will be taking over all calls for service for the city of Casper, and we will continue from that point in a normal fashion.
And then how about counseling and things for his colleagues, coworkers? Is that being offered? Is that happening right now?
There is an army of support that is mobilized already for the officer, for the officer's family, for the involved officers, and particularly his patrol team. We have had present in all of our locations. We have had chaplains and counselors for the last day and a half. who are present nonstop and there to render assistance to our employees who will provide any opportunities that we can. Moving forward from this, we will be actively involved in allowing our employees the opportunities to process this event and to preserve their vitality and their mental health and their job satisfaction and their outlook on the law enforcement profession. And this is, again, these things tend to cause a great deal of angst and anxiety. The law enforcement profession is under particular attack for a variety of reasons and has been now for a couple of years, but it should not be lost on us that multiple officers have been killed in the line of duty this year, and we are on a tragic pace, even including some just in the last few days. We're extremely grateful that we are not in the same position that some of our fellow agencies are in, as they are preparing to lay to rest one of their heroes in their community. So there will be extensive opportunities for us to render aid to our employees and to any of those who are suffering from this incident, and our employees are our highest responsibility and our highest priority.
Yeah, Chief, can you describe or characterize the officer's injuries? I know you mentioned the artery. Would you be able to specify which one that was?
Yeah, unfortunately, I lack the medical terminology to do a sufficient job on this. Officer Carlson received a catastrophic injury to his lower waist area and directly impacting one of the critical arteries within his body. In addition to that, he has multiple gunshot wounds to his legs, and he was also struck in the chest and in the back by gunfire. The one that is most particularly troubling to us is the gunshot wound to his waist, and that is the one that is proven to be most damaging to his essential bodily functions.
And the shots in the chest and the back, was he wearing a vest? Was that effective?
Officer Carlson was wearing a vest, and that was of great assistance.
Are you able to tell us if the department has had experience with this person that was killed previously?
The investigation is being handled by an outside agency, and quite frankly, I've spent no time worrying about that. I've had other priorities to deal with. It is not my belief that we have a history with the deceased suspect. Any other questions? Now, as we conclude this press conference, it's important to me to confirm for you that Officer Carlson acted heroically. Officer Carlson is intimately involved in his own medical processes and procedures that are occurring. We're grateful that we see and sense in him an amazing effort on his part to participate in his healing process. We consider his actions that day to be honorable and to be heroic. And our entire department and the entire city of Casper, and then quite frankly, the community of Casper, is united in our support for Officer Carlson, united in prayer, united in well-wishing for his speedy recovery. We're extremely grateful to the staff, the doctors and nurses, and the entire staff of the Wyoming Medical Center who has gone above and beyond to support Officer Carlson, to support his family, and to be patient and tolerant with the literal army of law enforcement professionals who are gathered there to support their friend and their brother in arms. And we wish Officer Carlson well, and we have complete faith in his strength of will and his ability to recover from these tragic injuries and we anxiously await the first opportunity that we have to make him aware of how much the city has rallied to his support. Lastly, it is my intention to, in the spirit of transparency, that it is something that I've advocated for since my arrival here in the city of Casper. I will be releasing further details of this investigation. It's my intent to do so tomorrow. Including in that will be a release of the in-car video that was captured by one of the officers' vehicles. At that time, I will also release the identity of the second involved officer and provide at least a perspective from my perspective, a summary of the events as they transpired on Sunday. Thank you for coming today, and may God be with Officer Jacob Carlson.